Friends, let us now derive the pressure exerted by an ideal gas. Look carefully. I have got a cubical container in which I have enclosed the gas. Now, the cube has got side L, and that's why the total volume of the cube in which I have enclosed the gas is L cube. Okay. Let capital M stands for the mass of the gas and small n denote the number of moles of gas. Now the gas will have all the molecules having the same mass, small m, okay, and pressure exerted by the gas inside the container is capital P. So once again, L cube is the volume, capital M is the mass of the gas, small n is the number of moles, small m is the mass of the each molecule which is same, and P stands for pressure exerted by the gas. Now we have maintained the temperature inside this container in such a way that the molecules will not interact with each other or they will not collide with each other. Here we assume that the particles of the gas molecules are only colliding with the walls of the container. Getting my idea? Now let us talk about one such molecule which is moving along the x-axis. Now one thing I didn't tell you, I consider three edges of the cube along the three coordinate axes x, y and z. Now let us consider one such molecule which is moving with velocity v along positive x axis. Okay. Now consider one such molecule which is moving along the x-axis. What? Moving along x-axis. I will take the component of velocity along x-axis as Vx1. Okay. So Vx1 is the velocity of the molecule along positive x-axis. Now you will ask me, what about the y component and z component? See, when a molecule is moving along x-axis, it will have only the x component. But if you ask me, what about the molecules which are moving along y-axis, z-axis, etc. See, inside a container, all the components of velocity are equally divided or distributed between all the three axes, x, y and z axis. So I have taken one such component of velocity along positive x axis. Now we all know formula for momentum. The molecular momentum is given by mass into velocity. Now momentum of this molecule before collision with the shaded part of the cube will be m into Vx1, right? M into Vx1. Now after collision it will move in opposite direction, right? Because the collision is elastic, the particle will move in opposite direction. In such case, after collision the momentum will become what? Minus m Vx1. Now what will be the change in momentum of the molecule? It will be minus m Vx1. Minus m Vx1 is minus 2m Vx1. Is it okay? The change in momentum is final momentum minus initial momentum. Now what is the change in momentum of the walls of the container? It will be negative of change in momentum of the molecule. So minus of minus 2m Vx1 equal to plus 2m Vx1. This is a change in momentum of the wall of the container. Now by definition of Newton's second law, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. So if you want to find the force applied on the walls of the container, you have to find the average change in momentum. What? The average change in momentum which is given by the average rate of change in momentum is the average change in momentum upon time. Average change in momentum upon time between two collisions. Two collisions. Now please understand how we calculate time between two collisions. Means what? Suppose the molecule collides here, then rebounds to the other surface, collides there and again returns back. Do you understand? So what is the time interval between two collisions with the shaded surface? How will I find that? Okay. For that, you understand the simple formula. Velocity is distance upon time. Velocity is what? Distance upon time. I will use that formula and show you how I get that. Look here. We know velocity is distance upon time. Right? Now velocity here is Vx1, distance is 2L and time is suppose delta t. I get delta t, the time interval between two collisions as 2L upon Vx1. Now I already have the formula for change in momentum, average change in momentum as 2mvx1. Therefore, rate of change in momentum will be the change in momentum upon time interval, and that will be 2mvx1, okay, upon 2L upon Vx1, and that comes out to be mvx1 square upon L. Right? This is the rate of change of momentum. For according to Newton's second law, rate of change of momentum is nothing but the force. Therefore, force exerted on wall will be mvx1 square upon L. Now, pressure exerted on wall will be force upon area. That will become what? mvx1. This will become what? mvx1 square upon L cube. Okay. Now, pressure exerted by all molecules on wall will be written as mvx1 square by L cube plus mvx2 square upon L cube up to mvn square vxn square upon L cube. Do you understand? mvx1 square upon L cube is the pressure exerted by one such molecule moving along x-axis. Now pressure exerted by all the molecules will be written as mvx1 square by L cube, mvx2 square upon L cube and mvxn square upon L cube. See, whatever I have written here is the average pressure exerted by the gas molecules along x-axis, and this can also be written as average pressure along x-axis equal to, I take m upon L cube common, I will write m upon L cube into bracket Vx1 square plus Vx2 square up to Vxn square. Okay, I get this particular expression. Now we move forward. Now I am writing one formula. See, if I take the average of all the squares of velocities, average of all the squares of velocities along x-axis, I can write this like this: Vx1 square plus Vx2 square up to Vxn square upon n. I repeat, I am taking the average of squares of velocities along x-axis. Okay, all these are the velocities, average velocities along what? X-axis, and I take average of all this. What I get is, or I can write Vx1 square plus Vx2 square up to Vxn square equal to n into Vx square bar. Okay, I get this particular formula which I substitute in our equation. Our equation becomes P equal to m upon L cube into n into Vx square. Okay, or I can write Vx square bar means what? Average, equal to P L cube upon n into m. Okay, this is the average velocity, square of average velocities along x-axis. Now the overall average velocity I write like this: v square bar equal to Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square. It is the sum of average velocities along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. But these values are equal. Vx square is equal to Vy square equal to Vz square. Okay, these are equal, and that's why I can write this as V square bar equal to 3 times Vx square bar, or Vx square equal to 1 by 3 into V square bar. Do you understand this? This value, okay, this is equation suppose A and this is equation B. I substitute the value of B in A. What will I get? As I told you, I got Vx square, value of Vx square as what? Value of Vx square bar is 1 by 3 V square bar. Okay, and I substitute this value in our equation. P equal to n m upon L cube into Vx square bar. Okay, when you substitute the value here, what I get? P equal to 1 by 3 n m V square bar by L cube. Do you understand? I get this particular expression. I have put the value of Vx square bar in this formula. Okay, I get P equal to 1 by 3 nm V square bar upon L cube, and this is our final expression of pressure exerted on ideal gas.